on Out and About today. So glad that you're joining us. We are talking about the best LGBTQ movies of the year. So much to choose from, and we're so glad that there is a lot to choose from. We're going to take a look at two of the ones that people have really been talking about in the past year, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Boys in the Band. Pam and Brent back to talk about these movies. Let's take a look at one, especially the performances in this movie. Oh my gosh. This is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. We'll take a look and then talk about it right after this.
These records are going to be hits.
Every colored man in the world got to do his part. I'm gonna tell the white man just what he can do.
They don't care nothing about me. All they want is my voice.
About them songs I give you, they're not the right songs. That'll take them off your hands for you.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Oh my gosh, Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, the late Chadwick Boseman. So many people talking about this one. Now, one of the reasons some people said, I didn't even realize that that really was an LGBTQ movie, but absolutely, Ma Rainey had a same-sex affair, a same-sex relationship with one of her band members. So that's why it's in this category. Let's get your opinion on it, Pam. Ma Rainey.
I haven't seen it. I do want to see it. When I looked it up, saw the clip and read about it, the thing I don't like is Ma Rainey, it does show her girlfriend, but then that girlfriend ends up engaging in an affair or something with a man. And I hate when that happens. It's just a pet peeve when the lesbian character just goes on to the other side. I don't like it, and that's just my opinion.
Okay, great point. Absolutely, point well taken. So, Brent, what about you, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
I haven't seen the full film yet. I've seen the clip and then parts of it. But first of all, seeing Chadwick Boseman was it just was nice to see him again. He was such a loss, for everyone. But to Pam's point, I think that's interesting that, that they show those things and they hint at stuff. And, it's like maybe it wasn't necessarily as big of a relationship, or maybe it was bigger and it was just sort of a side thought. Like it's not necessarily part of the overall character. And I think sometimes some things are lost with that. But I mean, the fact that it was based off of a play, I think helps a little bit too, the way that it drives the plot. I haven't actually seen the stage play, but I'd really like to see that too, now that I've sort of had interest in the movie. Have either of y'all seen the play?
I have not, but I have seen the movie. It was one of my favorite movies of this past year. And Pam, I completely agree. I wish that they would have fleshed out the story, even if the character does end up going back to or going to, a different character. But the thing that really, really impressed me was just the rawness of all of these characters in there. Again, it's kind of, I guess, maybe that's another movie that sometime maybe someone will make about Ma Rainey and her actual, situation with one of her bandmates, which I think would make a really good movie. And maybe, again, they could just add to this. So that's one, though, I would still put on the list. A lot of Oscar buzz about that. Now let's talk about one that was a play in the late 60s. It became a movie in the early 70s. Then they restaged it on Broadway, and then Ryan Murphy brought it to the screen this year. We're talking about The Boys in the Band. Take a look, and then we'll talk about it.
Who's coming?
Same old tired fairies you've seen around since day one.
This is gonna be fun.
This old college friend of mine is in town, but he's straight, so...
Do you really think he doesn't know about you?
Emery, no.
I couldn't care less what people do as long as they don't do it in public.
No, it's the delivery boy from the bakery.
Ask him if he's got any hot cross buns. Where the hell could Harold be?
Happy birthday. You're late.
Oh, Michael, you kill me. When he's sober, he's dangerous. When he drinks, he's lethal.
That's your surprise.
A lot of drama in this one. The Boys in the Band. I mean, what a cast. All gay cast. Every single, which I love the fact that they did that. Jim Parsons, Zachary Quinto, Matt Bomer, Andrew Reynolds, Charlie Carver, Tuck Watkins. Incredible cast. Brent, let's start with you. So what are your impressions on the Boys in the Band?
Well, first of all, I mean, I know this wasn't written for Ryan Murphy, but this movie was written for Ryan Murphy to redo, right? This is the perfect thing for him. It's right up his alley. So the casting was great. I've seen it twice. I've watched it sort of alone and then with a group of friends, and just seeing those sort of parallels between our friend group now and friends then, showing sort of that strong sort of chosen family unity. Despite, you had your challenges, there was arguments and spillovers and anger during the movie, but at the end of the day, they were all still friends and supported one another. I also thought it was interesting, that it sort of drove home that theme that was pervasive for so long, like, I don't care what you do at home as long as you're not doing it in my face. That sort of talking point that people had for decades, to quote unquote accept us in that way. So it just sort of showed that a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. But at the end of the day, we all need a supportive, happy friend group to get through it together.
Absolutely. And Pam, your impression?
Yeah, I loved it. This is the only version I've seen, so I don't have a lot of comparisons. I could follow up with what Brent's saying. It does remind you at times of your own friend group and the one-liners and the characters and how we all interact with each other.
Yeah, it's just really terrific. I absolutely love the movie. I saw it on Broadway. Incredible. Same cast. I just loved it. Okay, we've just got about a minute and a half left. I wanted to ask you two, is there a particular movie, an LGBTQ movie, that has really had a lasting impression on you, a lasting impact? I've just got to start with mine. Big Eden. I just love this movie. It's almost like the ideal movie fable. It took place in the late 2000s. I love this. Big Eden. Get that one. And, of course, Brokeback Mountain. Okay. All right, Brent, what about you?
Well, two of mine, they actually came out in the same year, 1982, Victor, Victoria, and Tootsie. And while, Tootsie may not have been quite an LGBTQ movie, it kind of was. It just drew my attention because of what was happening with the cross-dressing and everything. But Victor, Victoria, I remember watching as a small child with my mom, not really realizing why I was sort of drawn to it or thought it was interesting, but just seeing different people playing different genders and what that meant and sort of just the overall fun atmosphere that it was happening in. It really, still even to this day, it's one of my favorite musicals. And I mean, Julie Andrews, come on, like
absolutely.
All of the signs there for me early on.
All right, Pam, final 30 seconds. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 1999, I think, but I'm a cheerleader. I always recommend this to folks who are coming out. It does cover the harmful practice of conversion therapy, but it does it if you can do it in a campy satire way. I like it. It's very colorful and fun, and it ends with celebrating life, living out loud. That's the message. Which
it's a great movie.
I hold on.
All right, guys, love talking movies with you. So be sure and check out especially those 6 movies that we have been talking about today. As always, we love it when you join us here on Out and About Today. You can always check us out on our social platforms as well as outandabouttoday.com. Brent and Pam, we'll see you next time, and we'll see you next time on Out and About Today. Good night.